So we're seeing, the unraveling, like we've been talking about last show or so of Afghanistan. So I spent some time in Afghanistan. So it's, kind of frustrating to know that we spent over $1 trillion there. I don't know, hundreds, thousands of lives are lost there. But over the last 18 months, there has been no lives lost there. There was a very gradual drawdown of forces. Our ability to work with, after we had trained them for 20 years, the Afghans to take on, the responsibility of you know, keeping the Taliban at bay was going really well. Now, what were the two main things that were part of that? Intelligence, which we have a lot of, and I mean, like, spies and stuff like that, and also a lot of intelligence too. But we also have air power. So the Afghans don't have air power. So the thing that won that war very quickly was air power. The thing, if we go all the way back to Vietnam, the thing that lost that war was the same thing. We withdrew intelligence and withdrew our air power, right? And then the country very quickly dissolved, just like we saw in Afghanistan. So is it by design? Of course it is. They did this on purpose. The deep state actors, the cabal, they know how to play these games. These guys are psychopaths. They're going to continue to play these games until they're completely rooted out from, humanity. So that's the thing we're working towards right now. So as more people start to see, the level of their psychopathy, then we're going to start to go, wow, these people are in charge of us. Yes. MK mind controlled. A lot of times as children, their minds are shattered. And then from that point on, they're basically manipulated and they grow up to be very evil people. So we're seeing that in a lot of these guys. All right. They look like they're, for us, but as we're starting to find out, they're not at all for us. They're for complete domination, wicked power, and so forth. So we'll talk more about this. But disturbing scenes coming out of Afghanistan. So I knew that this was going to happen very quickly. We saw General Milley, who is a deep state tool, come out and talk about how it was, don't worry, we have control of this. We had several officials within the Biden administration months ago say that this is not going to be, on Friday, a Friday to Monday event. And actually it was. So, how do we know that they telegraph these things? So like 2-3 months ago, they were saying this was not going to be a Friday to Monday event. It's not going to be the fall of Saigon. It's worse than the fall of Saigon. Right. So we're still going to see the ramifications for this. So why do we go in there to begin with? Went in there supposedly because there are these, evil people there that were spreading terrorism throughout the world. So now that we're going to leave that place, because according to Joe Biden, why should we stay there and lose American lives and have tombstones in, all over the country, in graveyards all over the country, American servicemen dying. So 18 months, no American has died in Afghanistan, but yet in Chicago, every weekend, many Americans die every weekend, right? In Chicago, it's worse than Afghanistan. Although now I believe that Afghanistan is going to be worse than Chicago. So, and that's because we let the evil people take control. Not we, but the psychopaths that are controlling the world and playing their games. Now, a lot of people think that aren't the white hats in control? The white hats are in control of some things. They're allowing some things to continue. So as they slowly, pick people off. I've seen this before in the past where it showed, the elder George Bush had said that if the people knew how evil we were and how we were manipulating things, they would drag us into the street and hang us. So that might come true, guys. So, he's gone. I think he suffered that fate. I think John McCain suffered that fate. And I think a lot of other people have suffered that fate. So we're going to see, some of this stuff at some point be played out. Until that point comes, we have to watch the environment and, make sure that we stay intuitive, stay calm, move with a purpose. If you're still in the big cities, then, do your best to, get stuff ready in case it goes bad. Because imagine if Trump came back. He said he's not going to come back to the White House. He's probably going to be in some bunker somewhere. He announces that he's back. If I'm calling this right, because he's right now, they're saying that a lot of people are saying that Biden mishandled this so badly that he needs to resign. All right. So the pressure is going to start to build on that. All right. So we might even see him resign because he and Jill disappeared on Thursday. And then he comes out in a or there's three different Bidens. All right. The Biden that came out today that talked was the Biden that was at the when Trump and Biden had their debates. That's that Biden, because you can see his ears are different, jawline's different, nose is different than the real Biden that's probably gone, right? So if you look at the old Biden, it resembles none of the three different Bidens that come out now, right? So the one that's bungling is, I don't know, maybe that's the white hat guy. I don't know. And then the guy that comes out and talks coherently at times, that's the black hat guy, right? So we got conflicting, and everybody's like, I don't understand. I think it's gonna be clear soon. So I get the feeling, right? So I had a feeling that something was up, and so the first time I had a feeling like this, because I was very good at distinguishing attacks in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and Pakistan before they happen, and up to a week in advance. I get very, very good at feeling that. My intuition was dialed in on that. So then something happened when I was in Pakistan. I got the feeling that there was danger, but it was like, it's not the normal feeling that I have. And then there was an earthquake in China where over 100,000 people were killed, and just kind of like right over the border from Pakistan where I was. So I was like, so that's what that was. Because I was like, what is that? So I started to know when earthquakes were going to happen. I've predicted earthquakes quite a bit. So now I just saw another level of that. I got the feeling that something was coming, and it was very, very intense. Like there was a threat, like loss of life type event, like I would get for terrorist attacks coming. And then Haiti happened. So I was like, oh, why didn't I get that as an earthquake? Because it wasn't an earthquake. It was a directed energy weapon that caused the earthquake. So I was like, so that was the feeling for that one. So the feeling that I'm having now, so I'm getting the feelings again. I talked about this today on Nicholas Viniaman's show. I'm getting that feeling again. Now, the feeling I'm getting now is that there's not a threat to the good guys. It's not a threat to the good guys, and that there is a threat probably coming for the bad guys. So I feel calm. Like normally I feel a little tension. I don't have fear, guys. If I go into fear, I don't get these abilities. So you have to remember, you have to be dialed in. You have to be very pure. You have to be loving, very calm, always open-minded. And then things come to you. And then you're like, what is that? And then you're like, ask a question. And then when it reveals itself, like I was just talking about with Haiti, you're like, so that's what that was. And now I'm getting that's a different type of feeling that I haven't had. But I'll tell you what it feels like. It feels like when I used to go on combat missions, right? And I knew that we were going to spank the bad guys. So that's what it feels like. But it feels different, right? Maybe because I'm not on the mission. That could be. Or maybe it's because of something else. And then that'll be clear in the future. And I'm like, oh, so do I have the ability to see that? So that's the way these intuitive processes work. Over time, they develop. You fine tune. You get a feeling. It's like, what is that? And then it reveals itself. Okay, that's that feeling. When I have that feeling, that tension, or that something's up type of coming through. And a lot of times, if I have something like that, when I was in combat zones, I would remote view it. And I was like, oh, a week from now, this is what I see. And I tell everybody, and it happens just like I said. For now, for whatever reason, some of that stuff is being blocked. So what I'm seeing is that this has to play out. I'm not given the ability for some of the stuff to be like the guy crying wolf, because everyone has to see the wolf, right, to know that it's a threat. So everyone has to see these psychopaths to know that they are a threat. Like in the past, these guys have been pulled away, in the background, like Soleimani, Trump team took out Soleimani. He was around for a long time, causing evil, and they finally tracked him down, and boom, gone. Right. So that was televised. All right. That was everyone found out about that. Some of that stuff that goes on, you guys never know about it. Right. You never know about it. I was in Iraq when I knew that Delta and SEAL Team 6 were taking down the deck of cards guys. Right. They're doing it nightly, knocking on doors. Hello, you're this deck of card. Yeah. Boo. So knocking on the doors. Right. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that going on. It's been going on. It'll be revealed when it's time to be revealed. These guys number in the millions, right? Think of the Nazi Party in Germany. Now, imagine that magnified all over the world. So we thought we had basically taken those guys down. So on the surface, everything looks good. The world can go back to normal. We went and kicked some ass, and all right. But still, these conflicts kept coming. So Congress here in the United States hasn't declared a war since World War II. But yet these conflicts come and go and come and go and come and go. There's money being made. All right. These conflicts, they could be over very quickly. I've been in these conflicts. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? This is done. We could like wrap this up, because they make money. So they keep these things going. They create these conflicts, and they make these decisions so that stupid happens, like stupid happened with Afghanistan falling. All right. That was stupid. It was complete stupidity. And now everybody gets to see it. You guys get to see it. Right. So a lot of us have been watching this stuff go down, and very frustrating. Now you guys are seeing it. Right. It's open. And then you see this clown that comes out and says what he said. And it just kind of reminds me that Batman move I saw in a comic one time, where Robin was at, Batman, riddle me this, and then Batman slapped him. I'd like to do that.